Here's a quick and dirty review of Sonic Frontiers 2022. Talk about quick, huh? It's here, the game that has spearheaded the new trajectory for the franchise going forward. Now, is this a good thing or a bad thing? To be honest, I don't even know myself. But let's see what the future of Sonic has in store. This game introduces us into the world of open zone gameplay. There's many obstacle objectives throughout the islands, various lookout towers, and a lot of uninteresting realistic terrain. Moving around these islands can be pretty problematic when you're trying to run on flat ground. The collision is really janky, often jittering everywhere and even flinging you off it and breakdancing in the sky. Boost has returned once again, and it's slow. Like, really slow. What the hell is this? Well, unless you gather 400 rings and obtain the power boost, then you can run around at a good speed. The real kicker to getting from point A to point B is the use of rail launching and trick launching. When you boost on rails and jump from certain inclines, you can go flying in the air, soaring across the island with no momentum loss. Additionally, boosting off flat platforms can send you spinning in a singular direction. However, it can be used to reach further distances from above. These two moves work in tandem to create an unbelievably fun experience while traversing the islands. The main gameplay loop is to first rescue your friends from being trapped in cyberspace by collecting memory tokens spread around the map. You get these by going through the obstacle objectives, or through other means. Then you're off to collect the 7 Chaos Emeralds in each island. Because Sonic is a clumsy motherfucker. You have to collect vault keys to obtain each emerald, which you can earn from completing cyberspace levels, which can be opened by collecting gears, which can be obtained by defeating guardian enemies and collecting skill points to upgrade your skill tree. Everything is all connected to make sure that the stuff you're collecting is mandatory and ties into the next. Unless you go to Big's Fishing and just buy everything from there. You can also complete these timed island objectives to reveal more of the map, nearby collectibles, and create new fast travel rails for easy access. Defeating enemies is pretty different in this game because homing attacking them causes a delay of 45 years. There's a whole new combat system with a singular 4-hit combo from the start. You can unlock new moves by gaining set amounts of skill points from defeating smaller enemies, and these moves can vary from powerful, practically unnecessary, or just flat out broken. Most moves in the game don't have any actual benefit or tactical use for defeating enemies, since the enemies don't have any advanced AI or movesets. They just sit there while you just go. So the combat isn't exactly the most in-depth system ever, but the movement tech makes up for it. After collecting 6 emeralds, you'll be able to traverse to the final boss of the island, the Titan fight. The Titans are huge, gargantuan-sized monsters that you'll have to scale up in order to collect the final emerald that they possess. You turn into Super Sonic and the battle begins. You use all your moves to take down these bosses while the music just wondrously blasts in the background. With QTEs and parrying involved, these make for an insane adrenaline-pumping ride. You defeat them, you save your friends from being chained in cyberspace, and on to the next island. I should also mention that in recent DLCs, they added new challenges in the open zone, alongside the inclusion of the spin dash. It basically functions as a secondary boost. However, you can also use it to shoot off from ledges and just fly everywhere. You can uncurl from spin dash form to start air tricking, giving you more extended air time, or you can simply just use your additional jumps to bridge gaps. This, along with rail launching and trick launching, make for a really fun time while simply running around. So that's mostly it for the gameplay loop. So how about this? Oh, I forgot cyberspace. Yeah, it's kinda ass. The movement is somehow worse than Force's. I don't even know how that happened. Turning while boosting is horridly tight, homing attacking takes centuries to finish, and the slow boosting just feels awful. Thankfully, it's been fixed thanks to the added power boost and spin dash in later DLCs, but Christ was it a hassle to deal with at launch. The level design is also literally just previous levels from SA2, Generations, and Unleashed. And the reuse of level themes are back. Great. However, this is a move called the homing dash, which is great for speedruns and overall movement tech, so cyberspace in general is alright. So that's basically everything gameplay related, so how about the story? Eggman is first seen landing on the Starfall Islands, trying to tap into cyberspace's power. However, something goes wrong and he gets sucked into the portal. Then we cut to Sonic, Tails, and Amy approaching the islands, tracking down the emeralds. However, a cyberspace portal opens right in front of them, sucking them all in. Sonic makes his way out of there and dives headfirst into the first island, Kronos. He gets guided by this mysterious voice in the sky, telling him to find the Chaos Emeralds on his journey. Sonic meets with Amy and they discuss about the mystery behind the island, helping this new species called the Coco. Throughout the game, these small flashbacks end up revealing more of the origins of the Coco and the Titans, and what happened to them. Amy grows to be more compassionate towards everyone, and Sonic assuring to her that she'll do great. I don't understand this arc whatsoever. Like, wasn't she already compassionate before? Why is he treating this like something she's never done before? We also get greeted to Sage, Eggman's new ally. She constantly thwarts Sonic from traversing the islands, and threatens him to leave. Like, every single time they meet. Sonic makes it to Ares Island as Super Sonic, however he gets gunned down and has to collect the emeralds again. He meets with Knuckles, who is investigating some ruins until he got sucked into an ancient cyberspace portal, ultimately getting trapped on the island. Throughout the journey, Knuckles finds some Coco who are fighting in honor, and he commands them in their duties. Sonic and Knuckles have a few conversations here and there about Knuckles being alone on Angel Island, and being tied down by the Master Emerald in order to respect his ancient brethren. But Sonic tells him that he always has a choice to make, and that he can get out and live life with everyone else. even though he's already done this exact thing like a million times before, and it's not like he's always guarding the Master Emerald, you know. Sonic also tries to reason with Sage for a little bit, trying to figure out what her problem is. On to Chaos Island, where we get greeted to thousands of 2D sections. Dear God, help us all! Sonic finds Tails and asks him to assist in his emerald hunt. Throughout the island, however, Tails starts to feel bad about always cowering in fear, standing on the sidelines, and always needing Sonic's help whenever there's trouble. He states that he feels like a burden to him, and how inconsistent he is with how he used to be. But Sonic doesn't agree with this at all, and tells him about the great things he's done, and that it's okay to need help since it's a part of him growing up. Then again, why was he perfectly fine before and suddenly became this cowardly fuck during the 2010s? I don't think any of that was actually a creative intention. Sonic and Sage banter once more. However, when Sage sees how Sonic acts with his friends, it reminds her of how she never got to feel that way with Eggman. Oh yeah, they tried a father and daughter relationship between these two and it was like really poorly handled. The next island, Rhea, consists of 6 towers that Sonic must climb up towards and activate flashbacks of the ancients. Who are the ancients? Well, during the prehistoric times, these alien creatures lived peacefully on their home planet until a monstrous force commanded them to leave their planet and escape, leading to the destruction of the planet. The ancients eventually settled on the Starfall Islands, with the Master Emerald reacting to the 7 emeralds that they created? Found? Borrowed? Once they land there, they use the power of cyberspace to keep their memories intact. However, word gets out about the monstrous force finding their new home, some of them resettling on Angel Island. Ultimately though, they try to fight back using the 4 titans, Giganto, Wyvern, Knight, and Supreme. After the uncertain incident, the whole species has since been wiped out, leaving the memories behind in cyberspace, leading to the creation of the Coco, where they store their lives into the Coco so they can peacefully live on. The 7 emeralds were also left on Earth, and the Master Emerald supposedly being left on Angel Island. Forgot to mention that Sonic has been trying to inhibit the cyber corruption throughout his body this whole game, and now he's struggling to even walk. With Sage asking how he can even smile in a situation like this. And Sonic, in good old fashion, keeps trudging forward, not letting his pain get to him. So, I'm gonna count the Final Horizon DLC as the canon ending since it seems to be the one with the most in-depth layers to it, and the normal one is pretty shit anyway, so... Amy, Tails, Knuckles, and Eggman have all been freed from cyberspace. However, this just leaves Sonic indefinitely corrupted. It's also revealed that the mysterious Sky Voice was the monstrous beast that wiped out the Ancients, known as the End. The trio decide to sacrifice their lives to jump back into cyberspace and help Sonic save the day. Once he makes it to Oranos, the final island, Eggman and Sage stop him in his tracks, suggesting a new plan. Sage will restore the trio back for them to seek out the Chaos Emeralds, stabilize Sonic's corruption, then eventually use that corruption as power to take down the End. Starting off the journey with Amy, she has higher jumps, a card glide, and some unlockable card related moves. She's also really fun to control. Next up is Knuckles, who can glide and climb certain walls. Collision can be pretty jank, but gliding from high places is pretty fun. Tails can fly, throw millions of wrenches, and brings back the Cyclone from Adventure 2. That's what I like to see. And Sonic has to climb up the remaining towers to complete Coco Trials in order to continue. As the story progresses, however, each character eventually gets more corrupted as they try to find the emeralds. The island has a bunch of new obstacle courses and such, and they're easily the best in the entire game, using ramps and platforming to its full potential. There's also new remixed cyberspace levels to run through with Sonic to collect the Lookout Coco for the towers. These are a pretty great improvement from the base ones, adding a lot more depth and movement-based platforming. There's also this Master King trial where you have to defeat all the previous Titans with a perfect parry, and it becomes clear that this game was absolutely not made with this in mind, so this is easily the worst part of the damn game. Anyway, it's on to the final boss. You fight Supreme in base form, and then Phase 2 starts up, with the End taking control of Supreme, generating new limbs and making it more ravenous. Sonic tries to fight back, but isn't able to, until he taps into the Cyber Corruption's power, where he becomes Super Sonic Mark II. He doesn't really have an official name, so this is just what I call him. Sage and gang try to hold up a force field for the projectile attacks. Sonic does the absolute coolest moves in the entire game. Sonic defeats Supreme by obtaining its fire cannon, and using up all the cyber energy to become Cyber Sonic, turning uncontrollably frantic. Eggman shoots the cannon, sends Sonic through Supreme, and piercing right through the End, leaving him in a blacked out state in space. Amy, Tails, and Knuckles are all freed from their cyber forms, and Sonic plummets from the sky down to the earth, with fully regaining his conscience and delivering a cheeky smirk to top it off. Eggman and Sage live on as father and daughter, and Sonic and gang head off to their next adventure, ending the story of Sonic Frontiers. Overall, it's probably the most lopsided game in the series, containing many highs and so many lows. However, at the end of the day, I don't think I could be too mad about it. It gave us a generally promising formula that could very well be great on its own, with multiple playable characters, and boss fights that significantly amp up the experience with how robust they can be. However, the presentation and general polish are not quite up to the standard that we're looking for, and even the story ends up feeling pretty empty, all things considered. If this is what we have in store for the future of Sonic, they're gonna need a lot of improving and restructuring to get to the quality level that we're hoping for. But, as it is right now, we're doing just fine. 7 out of 10. See y'all next time.